Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a redo set of a set I did about 12 months ago, and it was originally, I saw the design by Tony Lee, and it's spelt Tony Lie, I think, so it's either one or the other, but I'm just going to say Tony's Nails, so I'm sure you all know who he is. So there I was just showing you my my own personal bag where I keep my brush, my file, cuticle pusher and tips, and I've got these for my clients as well to keep them all separate. So I'm going to be showing you a bit of prep as well, because this is a fairly simple set. So I start off with just spraying my hands with Prep Spray Plus and just wiping over. I did file back my last design. I didn't take the acrylic completely off. I removed the tips because some of them snapped off while I was filing it off. Some of them had little holes in there from filing. So I just decided to just take the lot off and file the acrylic as low as I possibly could. And like I said, now I'm just pushing back the cuticles and removing all that dead skin from all those nail folds. So once I finish with the cuticle pusher, and I do this for clients as well, is I spray it with some disinfectant spray, give it a shake to get all the excess off, and then I take a lint-free wipe and I just wipe it off so it's nice and dry, so we don't get any rusty parts or anything, and it goes back in my bag. And I also spray my nail brush with this as well when I put that away, just so it's all disinfected, ready for the next use. So I'm showing you there two nail bits. The one is like, it's hard to describe, like a little cone bit. I don't know what these bits are called, but what I'm basically doing here is going parallel to the nail around that natural growth channel, and just removing the shine really in that little groove part. And I'm getting it right up into that cuticle as well, to remove any last bits of dead skin and any last bits hiding away in those nail folds. You wouldn't believe what you could find in these these places. And then once I've done that, I go to my cuticle bit, and this time I'm going right up into the cuticles, and this helps remove any last little bits. It also buffs away little bits of skin that's dangling down. Both these bits I use on quite a low speed, and I'm not applying any pressure. I'm just gently tickling over the nail plate with that. So I wipe away all the dust, and then I come in with my file. Again, this is my file out of my bag, so it has been used but only on myself. And then I'm using the 180 grit, because the higher the number, the lower the grit. And what I'm doing is I'm just roughing up that surface, because like I said, there was a bit of acrylic still left on there. So I'm just buffing that as well, just to give the new product something to grip to. And normally I would do this to the normal, to the natural nail bed as well, just to remove all the shine. So yeah, I'm just etching over now, and I'm etching in different directions as well, so I've got something for that product to grip to, like I said. Once I've done that, I wipe away the dust, spray again with Prep Spray Plus. This is a sanitize and dehydrate, so I'm giving them all a really good clean, and then I'm going to apply my tips. So like I said, I've got my tips already in my bag with what size I use, and I've got them labelled up with ring finger, middle finger. It just saves time, because they're just these are just my stash of tips that I buy for myself. These are Glitter Planet Easy tips. They are quite long, and the reason why I like these is because they're really flexible and they fit really nicely to my fingers. So I just use these on myself. I am planning on doing this sort of thing for my clients as well, with their tips, because I use different kind of tips for different clients depending on what works best on their hands. So I am thinking about getting some tip bags and filling up a few tips, and then as it runs out, just fill it back up again. So I'm going to apply these tips to all these fingers. I do face my hand down like that so I can put them in a bit out of shot, but that's just so I can make sure that I get them on straight. I'm using CJP gripper glue, and this glue only takes a couple of seconds to grip. You just hold it in place and it fixes the tips on nicely and securely. I'm then going to cut the majority of this length off. Oh, this is heartbreaking, isn't it, seeing all that length being chopped off. I absolutely love wearing long nails, but new year, starting work again, I need them short. So I'm just chopping them all down to size. I'm using that what's it called? You know what I mean? You can see what I'm using. You know, it's completely gone out of my head. Too much Baileys, I think, over the last couple of days. So yeah, once I've done that, I then shape it with my hand file again, and I'm using the 100 grit side this time just to blend in that tip into the natural nail. I don't go on the natural nail, I am only blending a tip. I don't think I'll show you all these fingers because I find it really difficult to file on camera, because normally I've got my hand right up into my chest and filing it that way. To do this, I'm having to put my hands out and there's nothing to support my fingers with, and it's really difficult. So I think this is the last finger I show you on shaping the tips, but I basically do this on all of them. So I'm using crystal glass, aquamarine and blue luster by Sonia Williams for the glitter. I've got my monommer in my dish, and this is the monommer I'm using, the one monommer, and I'm using my queenie brush. I'm also using dehydrate and acid bond. Now I've been asked why do I use acid bond with one monomer. It is purely mostly habit, because I've always used acid bond and I always feel like I've missed a step if I don't. But I do have some people that are problem lifters, and I do find if I apply a little bit of acid bond they get less lifting, so I tend to do it now out of habit. When I used the 1.2 monomer, I didn't have to use the acid bond at all. I found there was enough in there of it. The one monomer I do still use a little bit of acid bond with, but I do wipe most of it off on my kitchen towel, so I'm barely putting anything on there really. So yeah, it's mainly just habit I do it, but I do find that they stop on a lot longer by using it, so that's why I do it. So I'm just applying my clear base here to all these fingers. I do have a little bit of damage on one of these fingers. I think it's I can't remember which one it is now. It's the pointer finger or the middle finger. I still had my long nails on, and we was taking down our Christmas decorations, and long nails and climbing up the side of the house getting Christmas decorations down does not go together. So I ended up pulling one of the nail tips. I didn't pull it off, but it did hurt, and it did cause a little bit of damage to my nails. So I decided at this point I was going to incorporate some frosted rose into the design. And this is where I decided I was going to copy the design that I did earlier in the year, which was inspired by Tony's nails. So I'm starting off with just putting some of that frosted rose on the ring finger, putting it at the cuticle, not putting it right up into the cuticle. I'm sort of pushing it up to where I want it to go, and then blending it down into the tip. Frosted rose is a really nice natural looking colour. It just makes your nail bed look nice and like glassy. It doesn't really give it too much of a colour. It does look very natural, but it gives you that nice like glassy look. So like I said, I'm just applying that to the ring finger and the thumb. And now I'm going to attempt to do a cutout design on my pinky finger. So the idea I had was to do it the same way as I did before, but when I did this design before, it was on a practice hand, and what I did was put it all the way down to the tip and then use some cotton to cut it out. Well, on my own hands, if I do this on other people, it works. But to do it on my own hand, I just found it really difficult. So I did mess up a lot on this little finger. I did sort it out with my file in the end, but it was really difficult to do it this way. As you can see, I took most of it off by doing it like that. I put it down. Ended up taking too much product off, and some of it got stuck. So because I left it too long. Then I got my scissors just to scrape off that extra bit, and then I put some more product on to try and level it all out. But yeah, this works on other people and it works on my training hand. It didn't work on myself. So I do the same thing on the pointer finger, but this time I shape it with my brush, and it did work out a lot better. So like I said, I started shaping this one with my brush, and it was so much easier to do it this way. Yeah, I don't know why I tried to do it with cotton. I think it was just because I watched the old video and I saw me doing it that way, and I thought I'll try and recreate that. I did have a couple of designs in mind that I wanted to recreate, because I was watching, you know, with it being New Year and everything, I decided to look back on my videos to have a look at my progress and see where I come. And there was a couple of videos that I did back in the day that I really loved, and I'm like, you know, if I could do that now, I want to see how different I could do that now, and see what my application was like. And for the most part, this was going really well, until I got to the middle finger, but I'll come to that in a minute. So on the ring finger and the thumb, I'm just ombreing some of that glitter. The original design for this was done in pink, And when I did the design earlier in the year, I did do it with pink. I just did the middle finger different because I wanted to try another design of Tony's as well on the middle finger. But I like the original design, still like it today, so that's why I decided to recreate this one today. But I thought I'd change it up a little bit using different colours. So I'm just going to encapsulate these nails now, and this is where my application gets a bit sloppy. Because the weather's so cold at the minute in the UK, I mean, we've got frost, snow, and the weather's not getting up above, I think the high today was 2 in our area. And I also have the window open for ventilation and because of the smell and everything of the monomer. So when I come to apply my crystal glass, it was just going everywhere, really runny. I know it sounds like I'm making excuses, and I probably am, you know, but yeah, I'm just explaining why it was a bad application day. Occasionally I did have the heating on, and I am quite close to the radiator, but because it's so cold, my nail room is north facing as well, so it doesn't get any sun or anything. So it is a cold room anyway. I do need to put my heating on earlier before I go in that room to warm the room up, because when I come to do the other hand, it wasn't so bad, because the room had warmed up by then. So I think in future I need to get the heating on a couple of hours before I go into that room. So here I'm just filling in. I have been off camera and filed these cutouts in. I did rescue this one a little bit because this one was a bit wiggly and wonky and all over the place, but I did manage to rescue it with my file, luckily. So I'm just adding that aquamarine into that cutout, and then I do exactly the same on the pointer finger. Aquamarine is a strength powder, so I don't encapsulate these cutouts once I've done them. That's why I'm going over the cover pink colour, because I can blend it in. Now, this was the worst nail out of the lot of application. The minute I put this bead down, it just ran all over the place, and I was chasing it out of the side walls, out the cuticles. Now, I don't condone getting it on the skin. I don't condone using your brush to get out, but sometimes, you know, my application isn't perfect. That's the way of life, and you know, like I said, I should have warmed that room up a lot sooner, but I didn't. But I have learnt by that lesson, so hopefully you won't see any more sloppy applications in the future. But like I said in the past, I want this to be a progress channel. I don't want it to be me showing my best work all the time. I want it to show me having bad days as well as good days. So yeah, that's why I've left it in. I could have, you know, just filmed the other hand, or, you know, which was absolutely perfect application. I didn't have any of these problems by the time I got that hand because the room had warmed up. But, you know, it happens, so please don't judge. So I've been unfiled and buffed off camera, and now I'm using CJP tack free top gloss. and just putting a thin layer over all these nails and bringing them to life. And that is a set complete. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and share some love in the comments box. I'd really appreciate knowing what you thought of these. And I will speak to you really soon in the next video. So Happy New Year, everybody. This is the first set of 2021. So I hope you're all doing well, and I hope this year brings better outcomes than it did last year. And like I said, I will speak to you all really soon in the next video. So for now, bye bye.